Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher and this is Sweetwater's iOS update. This time out on the update, I've got a brand new technology just announced that really increases the power of your iOS device as a recording studio. Let's take a look. One of the problems we've faced when making music with iOS devices is we have these various apps. We have synthesizers that can record audio, we have drum machines that can record audio, and of course we have audio recorders as well. And there are copy-paste utilities that allow us to move audio from, say, a synthesizer into a recorder and create multi-track productions that way. But there's been no way up until now of actually routing audio from a synthesizer, a drum machine, or another audio application into a recording app. But now there is with an app called Audiobus. Now, Audiobus is actually a very simple app. We open it up, and there are three stages, or three slots, if you will. There's an input slot here, an effects slot, and an output slot. Now we can install apps into all those slots. So if we click on the input, a list comes up of all of the apps we have installed on our iOS device that are compatible with Audiobus. A variety of them are compatible with Audiobus right now, and more are becoming available every day, more are planned for the future as well. So I've got several that are installed here. Let's open up Sunriser, which is a analog synthesizer app. At this point, Sunriser is installed into an input slot in Audiobus. If we click on the icon, it will take us to the app, and we can play the synthesizer there just as you would normally expect. Over here we have a little floating menu. You can actually hide that or you can bring it back. And this shows us the Audiobus icon and an icon that lets us switch back to Audiobus. Now when we're back in Audiobus, we can add a second input device. So let's choose Rebirth from Propeller Heads. Now once Rebirth is active, we can click on it, come over here, and it will play back just as before. Now we've got our submenu here. We can switch back to Sunriser. So what you saw there is the two apps being mixed together in real time inside the Audiobus application. Now the cool thing is, when we go back over here to Audiobus, now when we come back to Audiobus again, we can choose an output destination for this. That could be an app, or it can also be the speaker output. In this case, we'll route straight out of the speaker to your headphones or to any speakers you might have connected. Beyond this, we can add an effects processor in the middle. In this case, I've got Jam Up Lite, which is actually a guitar processor, but we'll load that up. So that's running in the middle, and any processing that we apply will be added using this to any of the apps that we run through it. So what's basically happening here in Audiobus is it's serving as a mixer for those input devices. We can have apps as input devices. We can keep adding those up to the limits of what your iOS device will run. We can have a microphone input, so we could route a guitar in or a microphone. Then we've got our effects processor we can use, and we can send that single signal out using the speaker outputs from your iOS device. So it's great that we can use Audiobus as a mixer for those input apps and audio devices, but what's really cool is we can also put apps here in the output stage. So let's bring in a couple of inputs here. We've got Funkbox, which is a drum machine. Now we'll load up a synthesizer. I'll choose Sunriser again just to load up a bass sound on that. Let's move over to our output slot here. Now we could again choose the speaker output if we just wanted to use this as a mixer, but if we want to record those signals, we could choose Loopy HD, or I've got multi-track DAW here. Aria has announced that they'll be compatible with Audiobus soon as well. So once we have that, now when we open up multi-track DAW, we'll switch back over. Tracks are automatically created for our input devices. Each of them has their own track. They're labeled here, Sunriser and Funkbox. And now we can go back over here, start up our drum machine, come back to multi-track DAW, get ready to record, and we're recording at this point. Now we can jump over to Sunriser, choose up a bass sound, and we can even control multi-track DAW from right here. We can also control Funkbox from here. So we have start-stop control there. We can switch among the apps. So this is a really cool way to create a multi-track recording. Now we can switch back to multi-track DAW. We can see our two tracks have been recorded here. Let's jump our playback up to where the bass comes in. So we've recorded those two tracks onto their own separate tracks. We can add effects to them here, we can edit them here, we can mix them however we like, but we can also switch back to Audiobus. close up that synth, and let's open up N-Log Pro. So now that we've got N-Log Pro loaded up, we can switch back to multi-track DAW. Make sure that's the track that's record enabled here. We'll rewind, and let's just bring this up a little bit before. Switch back here, and we should be ready to go. Once again, we've got our record command here. Stop our recording, switch back to multi-track DAW, disarm that track. We'll rewind a little bit. Now we could also bring a guitar in using the microphone input and route it through a guitar processor. We could bring a microphone in and sing over the top of that. So it's a very easy way to use your iOS device as a complete recording studio with all these different apps we have available to us without having to export audio between the apps or without having to copy and paste the audio. You can actually do it with much more of a real-time workflow when you're working this way. Now in the background we can synchronize devices using MIDI, so if we're using say Loopy HD and we're creating a loop production but we want to run a drum machine along with that, we can lock those together using the commands inside those two apps to synchronize them together. So we can still use all those different functions that are available in the apps. It's just the audio that's being routed here, and we can route it into our multi-track recorder or off to the speakers. So it's a very powerful app to have. It really turns your iOS device into a very functional recording studio. At this time, we finished our multi-track recording. We can go back to Audiobus. We can turn off the different synths and drum machines that we're using. In fact, we can turn off multi-track DAW. Simply go down here, close up Audiobus. We can switch back over to multi-track DAW. Our song is still there because all that audio has been recorded into multi-track DAW. So it's a song within multi-track DAW. We can do our processing, we can do our mixing, our editing, export our finished stereo product, and have the whole thing right here. So what it does is it increases the possibilities because you can use all those apps along with multi-track DAW instead of the way we used to have to do it, which was to export and import the audio between the two apps. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Audiobus. This app really increases the capability of our iOS devices in the recording studio as well as for live use because of those mixing capabilities. Thanks for joining me for Sweetwater's iOS update. Be sure to tune in next time. We'll have more apps, we'll have more hardware, and we'll have tech tips on making music with your iOS devices. I'm Mitch Gallagher.